Alright, let's get into this. Let's talk about spoilers for the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And what and the stuff that made me cry. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let me just say, this movie was not as sad as I thought it would be. It's not as sad as I thought it would be because I knew that, like, Dave Bautista, who plays Jax, that's his name. Pretty sure it is. The person who plays Jax, he is kind of done with playing Jax. That was very kind of clear in a lot of interviews and stuff he talked about and did. He was just like, yeah, he was ready to move on. And so I expected him to die. But, spoiler alert, but this is the spoiler section, so there's your warning again. Spoiler alert, no one dies. None of the Guardians die. They just split off at the end. And it's like, oh, huh, okay, huh. I I don't know. There's things about that made it not feel as grand as it should have been, or like I guess as advertised. And that's my fault, I guess, because I don't know. It was very advertised that someone was going to die, and obviously in the trailer they made it look like Rocket was going to die. Spoiler alert: he doesn't, and which I knew was going to be a cop out. I absolutely knew that was going to be a cop out, but I didn't expect it to be someone. But no one dies in the end. Which is kind of interesting. I guess it just leaves it up to, yeah, they could just still use these characters, still put them in things. And I am excited for the future because the end credit scene does say, or whatever, does have like, it does say Star Lord will return. You know, they do that whole thing. Not the Guardians, but Star Lord. So maybe only Star Lord will be in it. I don't know. But yeah, let's talk about the sad stuff. So a big part of Rocket's storyline is Lila, the otter, Teefs, the walrus, and Floor, the bunny spider thing. It looks weirdly creepy. Very cool design. Very creepy, though. And obviously, like, and so the high evolutionary is, yeah, experimenting on them, and like they all just either don't have limbs, like Lila doesn't have arms, just has robot arms, and it is very weird to look at, but also just really sad, you know, because obviously, yes, he's been experimented on, and they've all been experimented on, and what's really sad is Rocket's first words, or at least what we know is his first words, is hurt or just, yeah, hurt or hurts, one of those. And that is just, oh, that's really sad. That is really, really depressing. That whole scene was just like, as soon as he says it, your heart just, just shrieks up in your body and just, it's so sad. It was so sad. Like, just, ah. Everything I do there, because basically, what happens is Adam Warlock. I completely forgot to mention that in the other review. Whoops. So yeah, I have like the character Adam Warlock coming into it, and he just appears out of nowhere and suddenly attacks Rocket, and almost kills him. And it turns out Rocket has like this kill switch in him, which I didn't really understand. Really, all I know is that they needed to get something to stop the kill switch or something that would like kill Rocket. And so that's what the whole movie is about. It's finding this thing to save Rocket. And yeah, so then Rocket's kind of out of the picture, and that kind of sucked because obviously I want to see Rocket. But what they do instead is every now and then the movie cuts to a scene with Rocket or baby Rocket basically, and shows them his story that way. So we do still get plenty of Rocket in the movie, just not so much the action scenes, I guess. Or just, yeah, grown up Rocket being all angry and moody kind of thing. It's all just very, very sad with Lila, Teefs, and Floor, who I really did love. I love their designs. I love just how they talk. I really, really loved them. And obviously that makes the movie much, much sadder. Because the whole thing with the High Evolutionary is that trying to make the perfect being and make the perfect world. And Rocket was actually the one who helped him realize how to do that. And so you do see scenes of him and of Rocket and High Evolutionary kind of being buddy because he's promising that he'll take them to the perfect world, that once this thing he's doing is done, that he'll take them to this world, kind of thing. Or at least that's what they think will happen anyway. And Rocket kind of just figures it out. And that scene as well, when you see those two kind of buddying it up, kind of thing, or just him treating him like his son, almost in a weird way, still being a bit of a dick, but Rocket is kind of just pointing out, ooh, Rocket, Sky, and it's just do we like Sky? Do we like this? And it's so just, he's so adorable. He's absolutely adorable. And that obviously just makes it more sadder, but he's so adorable. They made him so adorable. It's just, I loved baby Rocket, baby little teenage kid Rocket. I loved him throughout the movie. And he accidentally kind of figures out, what's wrong? And which then, so the whole thing is basically High Evolutionary figured out a way to basically evolve things instantly, or at least in 5 seconds or something. And so he at one point puts a turtle in this little thing and does this little gas cloud in this little glass cylinder thingy. Big gas cloud comes around it and suddenly makes it evolve. Which, look, I'm looking at it, I'm just like, that's just a Ninja Turtle. You just made a Ninja Turtle. Which at the same time, it looked better than any of the Michael Bay movie Turtles. Because it actually looked like a turtle for one. It did look like Shrek. I actually really, I didn't mind the design on it, kind of thing. But yeah, it's all angry, and he can't, he doesn't want them to be angry. And Rocket figures out how to make him nice, make him good. And so that's what happens. He then, brings out all these other animals and fixes it up the next day or whatever. And is able to create good things, which are the furries. So essentially he's just making furries. He's just making anthropomorphic animals. Which I just couldn't help but just laugh about. That's just so hilarious. He's essentially saying the perfect being is a furry. That is hilarious. And so the world they go to is his world he's created. He does act like he's the god of that world. He's very much is being God, trying to create the perfect world. Which then he ends up just later destroying because it's not perfect. And which does sound like God, mind you, that's exactly what God does. But he also does kind of mention that he's done this several times before. So he's basically, creating life and destroying it. And so he is that bad of a villain, that bad of a person, that he's killed literal zillions of people and zillions of creatures and things because he does not give a shit at all about any kind of life. And then, it turns out it was all a lie. Rocket, Teefs, Floor, and Lila aren't going to the new world. That was all just he's just you're smart enough to figure that out, but you're not smart enough to figure out you're not going there. How stupid of you. But at the same time, Rocket was collecting parts to make his own key card, and so that they could escape from the cages. And so he's able to do all that, escape from the cages, and hugs up against Lila, who was in the next cage next to him, so it's probably the first time he's actually hugged her. And then it's a nice scene, and then she gets shot. She gets shot and just bleh. And so it's the sky is nice, bleh. It was I knew that it was going to happen because it's kind of just his story is obviously got to be a very, very sad story, and I knew it was going to happen. It's just obviously the way it happened was just it was so sudden, you know, because it was just so happy they escaped. They got the hug, and then bam, she's dead. And just that scene with Rocket, like, he's just standing there, you know, this little raccoon as, like, a kid, essentially. It's just standing there, just screaming. It's just screaming in pain. And, yeah, the voice acting was really, really good, really, really heartbreaking. And he's just standing there screaming, and a shot of her just dead, and just... Oh, it was heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. Like, oh my god, I just want to cry right now. Yeah, just obviously I cried a lot at that point. And yeah, it was high evolution there. I shot her, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I knew you would do this. I knew you would do that." And Rocket then, like after just crying a bit, fucking just jumps at him and starts clawing at his face, like absolutely claws it, and there's blood going everywhere. It's a pretty graphic kind of scene. They don't like, oh, it's not that graphic, but it's more so you know what's happening, you know what's going on, and it's just like, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, he absolutely deserves it. But then, yeah, then these two other guards come in, or three other guards, whatever, and he grabs a high evolutionist guard, shoots at them, and yeah, kills them. But then he turns around behind him, and they had shot his friends. They had shot Teefs and Floor. And so it's just a hugely, heartbreaking scene. It's so... Like... Man, they made you really love and care about these characters. They absolutely did, and then they just murder them. And they essentially want you to feel what Rocket's feeling, and you absolutely do. And so that was just, yeah, so hard to watch. So hard to watch. This movie is not going to be fun to watch again, that's for sure. Like, I could easily watch the first and second Guardians movie. But I don't think I could watch this one again. Because it's just going to be such a heartbreaking movie to watch. I don't know if I could go through it again, because it's just, But it was well done, you know. Like, I'm not saying I won't watch it again because it's a bad movie. I'm saying I won't watch it again because it's a sad movie. And a well done sad movie. Yeah, so that's what happens there. But in the end, they are managed to... They do manage to save Rocket in the end, but not before he almost dies, to the point that he goes into the light and sees Lila, Floor, and Teefs. And so it's this whole thing of like, oh yeah, he's in heaven right now, and just like, he's probably gonna... Yep, he might actually die here. Because then he asks, can I go with you? And Lila says, yeah, of course. And so he looks like, yep, he's going to die. But she stops him and says, but not right now. Again, they made it look like he was going to die, but yeah, he doesn't die in the end. And then, they get on board the dude's ship, blah, blah, blah. A whole bunch of things happens in the movie. I'm not really going to go through it all that much. I more or less, I just wanted to talk about what made me sad. And talk about Rocket. Because eventually, yeah, they do get on his ship, and they help out all these kids, and help out all the humans, while Rocket then finds all the cages for all the animals, and comes up and finds all these baby little raccoons, and then he does see a little sign that does say raccoon on it. And so I think that's 100% the realization that, yes, he is a raccoon, this is what he was. And he just grabs them and he just grabs them all, and they just cover all over him, and it's adorably sad scene. Like, I really want to see fan art of, like, all the little raccoons all over him. It's adorable, but really, really sad. Which then the High Evolutionary comes in, and then he fights off with Rocket. And Rocket does say the best line in the movie here. The best line. In terms of he's being thrown about and all that. But he's able to stop what's happening. And pulls out his gun and it's like, I'm Rocket. Rocket Raccoon. He said the thing. He said his name. He finally said that he is a raccoon. And that's so cool. I mean, just Blaster Dude is like, yes, yes, yes. But what I did love as well is that then all the other characters come in one by one and just beat the ever-loving shit out of him. And it's such a satisfying scene because screw this dude. Absolutely screw him. As I having all the characters just come in and start beating on him is such a good scene. It was so satisfying to watch. Oh my gosh. And then they end up doing a bit of a gore moment. It turns out like his face is all pulled back, and then it's kind of flopping down, and Gamora just slowly peels off his face, and under his face, it's all just scratched up, like almost like down to the bone, basically, and just blood and just gory. His face, his mouth is kind of whipped open, and basically that's what Rocket did to him, and it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying. My only problem, they don't kill him. Like, Rocket doesn't kill him. I was hoping maybe Star-Lord would, because I love that Star-Lord throughout the movie calls Rocket his best friend. I love that. I really, really love that. It's like, no, I need to say my best friend. Which, of course, Drax is then just like, second best friend. that was kind of funny. But I really loved that. Even Nebula. Nebula cares the hell out of Rocket in this movie. To the point of like when Rocket first starts talking again after being injured, and she hears that he's okay, she just breaks down. And it's just so unexpected out of Nebula. Like, she really, really cared, and I absolutely loved it. It was just nice because of his family, and I love this weird family of the Guardians. I really do. I really do love it. I apologize if the angle's weird or if I'm sitting weirdly. I apologize. I'm kind of just doing whatever, sitting comfortably. But yeah, they don't kill him. I guess he just dies with the ship. I kind of forgot what happened there, honestly. This is like the day after I watched it. I have kind of forgotten things because I'm an idiot and don't have a good brain. But yeah, he just kind of goes down with the ship, which I guess he could come back in some weird way, but they didn't actually kill him. Which then, yeah, the movie kind of ends with everyone splitting off, and I understand why. I get what they were doing, where it's basically Star-Lord admits that, like, he's been wanting his entire life. It's time to go home, because his grandpa's still alive. And so it's time to go home and go see him. Gamora just goes off with the Ravagers, this other group. Which, what they did there with Gamora was good. I didn't mind it too much. But yeah, she kind of just goes off with the Ravagers, which is like Sylvester Stallone is there. And that's his group of people. Mantis and Drax, like Mantis kind of just goes off as well, kind of like she always did what Ego did in the second movie, and that was just her life is following his orders, and then she just did whatever the Guardians did, and so now it's time for her to live her own life, and so she goes off, and that made me kind of sad, because it's like, her and Drax are so good, I absolutely love those two. But Drax stays behind on Nowhere, the planet, or Nowhere, which is now like the Guardians' home world and home and all that. He kind of just stays there. They rescued a whole bunch of kids from the High Evolutionary, and now he's basically just a dad to a bunch of kids, which is the storyline that he lost his daughter, so now he's got thousands of daughters to look after. And he's going to stay there with Nebula. Nebula's also going to stay on Nowhere because now that's her home and she's never had a home. So I understand what they did with all these specific characters. But then, yeah, what about Rocket and Groot? Rocket is now the leader of the Guardians and has his own team now. The team itself doesn't look as interesting, but I'm down for it. One of those team members is Cosmo. Cosmo is in this movie. Cosmo does a bit in this movie. I do love Cosmo, the washing dog. I don't like they made her female in this movie, But I understand that that it's female because it's based on the real dog, Laika, who was like first Russian dog up in space. And so it's like, yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, and then yeah, so now he's got his own team. So I'm hoping maybe they do a TV show with Rocket's Guardians team. I hope that happens. That's what I want to see. I want to see just a TV show of this team, kind of thing, because that would be great. That would be amazing. If they will appear again, I don't know, but I'm also just happy that I'm fine with this ending. I'm fine with this ending that happened with Rocket. He becomes a guardian and like the leader, because he just, he grew so much as a character in these movies, and yeah, just grew to love, grew to have friends, and just grew to be a team leader. So yeah, the ending is, it's a bit weird. I don't know how I feel about it, but I get it. I get it, and I'm okay with it. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here. If nothing happens, that's fine. If something does, cool, awesome. I really would love to see a Rocket and Groot TV show. Absolutely. I hope they do that. But yeah, alright, I'm getting tired. Sorry if this review wasn't good. But I still hope, let me know down in the comments below what you think about this movie and everything that happened. And yeah, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, because I'll love you if you do. Hit that bell icon, and this fox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now.